I'm gonna go grab a drink real fast, and then I'm gonna come back. So give me 1 minute. I'm back, and for the first time ever, I'll be stripping on live. Just kidding. I'm just gonna take off my outer pants. I have inner pants. I'm not doing a full strip, but enjoy the makeshift strip, okay? Special occasion. So, I'm back again. Unfortunately, you guys have just been turning into like my emotional dumping grounds. So, I have a little bit more sad news today. Not sure if you guys are ready for it. So, if you don't want more sad things in your life, hop off. But I called Aaron earlier today for emotional support, and he coached me through having a positive mindset. So we're gonna try to have a positive mindset. This kitty is Memo. I adopted him last June. I started the adoption application process right before I got dumped, and he got dropped off at my apartment just 2 days after I got dumped. And roughly a month after he was adopted, Grandma got sick. We went to the ER. Then I got sick with mono. And he's never been a great eater. And they thought it was, he had like tartar on his teeth. And when I adopted him, they said, he might have stage 2 dental disease, but otherwise all clear. So get him a dental cleaning when you can. No rush. And I was like, okay, his mouth does kind of smell bad, but I was really sick with mono, so I kept pushing it off until I felt physically able to go through the stress of rounding him up into the carrier to go to the vet. And we finally went to the vet, and the vet was like, how old is he? And I was like, 13, 14-ish. He was like, okay, he might be too old to undergo anesthesia for a dental cleaning. Why don't we just try to pick the tartar off his teeth? So he came back from that dental visit with a little antibiotic because he kind of bled a little bit from the cleaning, but otherwise seemed fine. And his bad breath was much better, and he was still a picky eater, but he ate. When Grandma died last week, I was obviously, upset. And Memo stopped eating. I cracked open like 3 different cans of food for him every day, and he would sniff it, maybe lick the juices, and then go away. I have ordered a whole tub of treats. That whole tub plus more in the kitchen is all for him. So he stopped eating. And so after a week of really not eating, I decided it's time to go to the vet again. And we dropped 850 buckaroos to do a blood test panel, a pee analysis, a poop analysis. Came back with some appetite stimulants, which he does not like me giving him. And at this point, I honestly think I was better off not taking him to the vet, because the results came back and his liver function is off the charts. He probably has cancer or something else that is basically end of life. And I'm not going to pursue treatment because it just upsets him so much and stresses him out so much every time we have to go to the vet. So I think I'm just going to let him live out his days, however many there are. I have to now make I'm trying to smile, you guys. I love you, my boy. I've been calling him my husband. Sometimes after I get high and he cuddles with me on the bed, I'll like pet him very intimately, and I feel like we're making out basically through my caresses. I'm totally in love with this cat, but unfortunately, looking back, I've always wondered, he's such a beautiful cat, so cute. Why would you surrender him at the age of 13? And I think it's probably, I'm guessing, obviously, but I wonder if the owners knew that he had health issues that they didn't want to deal with or fork out money for. And when they surrendered him, maybe they just didn't tell the shelter, and the shelters are overrun right now. Just so many abandoned animals. They probably didn't have the resources to run a full blood panel on every single cat, especially a 13, 14-year-old cat. And the only thing I really could have done better was maybe ask for a full blood panel test when I took him in for the dental cleaning. But I guess I was stingy, and I also didn't want to put him through it if we didn't have to put him through it. Maybe we could have caught it earlier, but at this point we caught it and it's too late to do anything about it. I've only had him for 7 months. I was hoping he would be my grief buddy. But maybe my grief is so heavy that it's too much for him to handle. I hope I haven't killed him faster, but right now my heart is saying you hurt him with your grief, so I'm trying to smile through it. But yeah, death is devastating. It doesn't matter now. I'm gonna still continue to put out treats for him. He's been having diarrhea the past 3 days, even with the meds. And I went out on a walk today with a friend, and I came back and he basically threw up all the food. Some digested, some not. So, he still has an appetite because I have so many tasty treats for him. But he's having a hard time keeping down the food. And sometimes when he feels like it, he'll come over and he'll let me pet him for just 2 touches. And sometimes breathe. Well, I might need to go outside and cry. New York City is the best place to walk and cry because nobody gives a shit. It's amazing. I love it. I say that with no sarcasm. My favorite part about the city is that you can cry your lungs, organs out, and nobody, nobody will care. But sometimes you'll hear birds flutter outside, and you'll still want to watch them. Right before Grandma died, he would still be very alert. You know, he'll suddenly perk up and move closer to the window. But these days, he's kind of just slowly meandering over to the cushion and looking out. And I did have the curtains open for him, but it's been really, really cold in New York City, and he seems to be hiding out in that corner where the heater is, and the windows are a little bit old and drafty, so I've drawn up the windows, but maybe I'll play some bird videos for him later. I now have to make the call on when to let him die. I'm wondering if part of why I wanted to come on here was to share the news with you and get a live with Memo still on it. I'll probably regret it later because then I'll like see this live and not want to see it again and cry. But you know, follow your heart. Part of why I wanted to come on here was to share the news and to let you see him. And part is I'm wondering if there's any cat parents out there who have dealt with end-of-life scenarios, how you make the call of when to euthanize them, or do you just let them live out? Obviously I don't know how much pain he's in. I asked the doctor about painkillers. They have a morphine derivative that I would have to drop between his lip and his gum. But Memo really doesn't like it when I touch his ear or paws, really. He's very hands-off. He won't let me pick him up for the most part. So I really didn't want to like negatively stimulate him anymore and bother him and fuss with him. I know it probably will make him feel better, but the doctor said it'll make him feel even more drowsy too. I mean, Grandma kind of just went through this too, you know? So it's just like... I'm just taking it all in because Grandma just passed away last Wednesday, and I was barely there, like, mentally. And a week later, I take him into the vet, and 2 days later after the vet, I learned about this. So I'm still processing, and I'm freaking out. And you know, genetically, I have taken on my mom's extra attentive, suffocating, overwhelming, overcaring OCD traits of worst case scenarioing. So now I'm just wondering if he's in pain, but I think he still wants to be around because he's still eating and he's still responding to stimulus, but he is not cuddling with me anymore. Now that could be because I dragged him to the vet after a chase around in the bedroom and tortured him with a blood test and a pee test. So maybe he doesn't feel safe with me anymore. But he's been basically living his life in the living room. So we're kind of like a separated couple right now. We haven't divorced yet, but he's kind of packed his bags and told me he needs some time apart. When they stop drinking. Okay. Yeah, he's drinking a lot, and the doctor said it's because, you know, his liver is basically failing. well, my mom and grandma do not like cats, so I don't know about that. But thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Well, thank you for sitting here with me. I think right now I just like need some company. And I'm reading your chat. He kind of gets freaked out when I start walking towards him, I guess because he's afraid that I would nab him again. But he does seem lethargic. Yeah, he's definitely not doing well. I got the test results. You know, the liver function is off the charts. The bile is not great. Fred is doing great with Aaron. Fred is still healthy, but Memo, Holly, Memo is the cat that we have here now, and Memo is not doing great. So, yeah. Happy Friday, huh? So now I have got some sobs out. Maybe I can start perking up. But yeah, I just had to get that out of my system. I'm sorry to hear about Fry. When I went into adopting seniors, I was fully prepared to be like, you know, a hospice parent. But I just truly did not anticipate for a cat who looked as healthy as Memo, that he would not be with me even a year. So that's quite shocking. And if there is a God out there, like, why couldn't you have held up for the year? Like, give me 1 year with this guy, and don't put it within 7 days of my grandma dying. Like, what are you doing? But clearly, I don't know where the fuck God is, but he's not as sensitive to pain as I am, for sure, because after a whole fucking 15 months of genocide, certainly I've seen what God is made of. Not the same stuff that I am. Hannah, thank you for the GoFundMe suggestion. I'm using my dead mom money, so I'm still good, but thank you. There's a lot of people suffering right now who have lost their homes in the fires, and there's still genocide. It's just never ending if you look for it, right? But there's also bright sides. Ever since my mom passed away, I've met a lot of amazing people who are so willing to help out strangers. And thank you for the soul food of keeping each other company, keeping me company. And Cynthia Sunflower said, no, he came to give you love to prepare you for what was to come. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Memo. I love you. Oh, poor boy. Poor boy. Just like the roller coaster of grief will make you throw up. I haven't thrown up since the 4th grade, but there have been many waves of nausea lately. I'm gonna yeah? That made you perk up? The foil ball that I don't think he's ever played with just made him wake up a little bit. So he is still responding to stimulus. You wanna play? You don't wanna play. But I'll be there with you if you wanna play. Out of Grandma's possessions, rolls of toilet paper. You know, it's so weird that when she was alive, I would find so many things that she did and so many things she kept around her disgusting. But now that she's dead, I'm just like, yeah, let me use this toilet paper that Grandma probably rolled up with very nasty hands that she never washed properly. But this is the nature of never realizing what you had until you lose it, right? Funny. No matter how many times you lose things, you will never, ever, ever have the same relationship with them before and after they're gone. Um, yeah, so that's that. The doctor prescribed him a nutrition supplement that when I gave it to him, he seemed to lap it up for 2 rounds, and then he stopped eating it when I mixed it into his tuna, and so now he's not even eating the tuna anymore because he doesn't trust the tuna. I've ruined everything for him. So what's interesting is I took him in because I felt like he had lost more weight. But when the doctor weighed him, he was like, he's exactly the same weight as he was in August. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, 7.8. He hasn't changed at all. I don't know, man. Did you know that, sorry, this is gonna get really morbid, but I just took a walk with my boss and my friend, Ethan, who lives in the neighborhood. He was basically like trying to keep me company as I was breaking down, giving him this news. And I was like, you know, people should tell you this stuff when you adopt a pet. Why don't they tell you this stuff? End of life stuff, you know, euthanasia and all of that, and when to call it and how much it all might cost. And he was just like, well, you know, it would be fun. It would be funny if you signed the adoption papers and they were like, well, here's everything you need to know. And by the way, when they die. But I figured I'd share this with you since you might not know. But they have different prices for euthanasia and cremation. You have euthanasia and group cremation. You have euthanasia and private cremation. You have dead on arrival and group cremation. And you have dead on arrival and private cremation. So there's 4 different price points for all of these things. For a cat, euthanasia with group cremation is $360, and if you want private cremation, it's $100 more. And if it's already passed away and you take it in for a group cremation, it's $240, and if you opt for a private cremation after it's dead, it's $340. And I asked, what happens to families who can't afford this? What other forms of disposal are there? And they were like, well, apparently some people just put it out with their trash. So there you go. I'm gonna reach out to the adoption agency. I got him from the city shelter, and I'm just gonna ask them what their options are and what they recommend. But yeah, what a life, y'all, huh? It's true. They may not like cats, but this one they will cherish for you. My mom certainly will. She never met Fred in person, but she was doting on him through text, offering to buy him a bigger cat house. And I'm gonna spend my days with my husband, my cat husband. The Palestinian flag has been there since July-ish. my co-op board reached out to me, management reached out to me and said that my end apartheid poster was against co-op rules. We're not supposed to have any signs or posters in our windows. So my friend made the suggestion that I should just replace it with a flag, which is anyway more visible from the outside than the poster ever was. So that's why it's there. I'm sure grief gets easier. So, this is not a bad thing. It's painful. But I feel like there is so much invaluable knowledge in every round of this. It's teaching me how to be changed in ways that I think actually help me learn more about myself than I otherwise would have ever had the chance to. Sherry Kroll says, you think about the wall at Auschwitz. Quote, if there is a God, he will have to apologize to me. Hell fucking yeah, he will. Ew, what the fuck, man? God. But yeah, just like, I've been thinking about this. If you're down for more grief talk, I mean, you have the choice of leaving the live if you don't. But I'm gonna continue on this soliloquy anyway. But I've been thinking about this love-hate relationship that is at the core of the truest relationship. When you get deep enough in connection with someone, there's no way they won't trigger you. There's no way you won't ever feel like moments of what feels like hate. But I do feel like that to be able to feel those moments of true pain and true frustration is just like, that takes a certain degree of connection and like feeling for the other person. Somehow they made you understand yourself more, they made you see yourself more, they made you know yourself more, and they made you you. Like, they probably had a hand in affecting the person that you're becoming, which is why it's so easy to get so triggered by the people you love the most, because like, they are you in a way. You are them in a way. And so when they engage in some conflict with you, it's like really painful, because it's like you're in conflict with you. You can't escape that kind of conflict. If you just have a superficial relationship with someone, they can't get to you like that. So yeah, I mean, if there is a God, he'll have to apologize to me, for sure, because I really fucking don't like him right now. He wasn't in the shelter, he was actually with fosters, and there were 2 fosters before I adopted him, and the second foster was so kind, and she like Ubered her way over to me and gave me treats and toys for him, and she was like, I'm so glad you adopted him. I was really worried, that he wouldn't get adopted, because nobody wants senior cats for apparent reasons. Honestly, it would not be this hard if the owner who surrendered him just told me what was wrong with him, so I could have taken better care of him before it got this bad. But that information was unfortunately not conveyed to me. All that was conveyed to me was potential dental disease. He's still munching. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's munching. I mean, I put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put out 7 little plates of different kinds of foods for him, so he's got his pick. Merlin. Merlin is an amazing name for a cat. I'm sorry to hear that, Cynthia Sunflowers. Also, can I just like do a rant about the current nature of men? Is it just now, or has it always been this bad? I feel like everybody's catching on to how bad the dating culture is, but like men, I don't know. How do we socialize each other better to like be responsible? I don't understand. People can't seem to deal with difficult stuff, and then they just run away, and then they start new shit elsewhere without dealing with the old shit, and then it just piles into piles of mountains of shit everywhere. Yeah, the foil ball is actually from Aaron. We made it for Fred, and then he brought it over, and he was like, maybe Memo will play with this, because Fred didn't. Yeah, Memo's not playing with it either. But I think the foil ball was actually a suggestion from a previous live viewer. Apparently you can lose fat but stay the same weight. Oh, what? That's wild. How is it that I lose muscle but gain weight? Like, that doesn't make sense either, but that's what's happening to me right now. I fit my clothes, but I have no muscle left. Weird. Baby. Hi. Can I come kiss you? Will you hold on? I just planted new cat grass for you. It takes 5 days to pop up. You want to wait for the cat grass to grow? Hi, babies. I love you. Hi. I love you. I've asked my fellow cat parent friends for advice too. I love all the commentary on dating, guys. This is natural selection, right? Like human civilization, we have begun our descent. We have invented everything we possibly can for the formation of innovation, and now we are using innovation for the death wheel march. So, for sure. I think the dating scene turning to absolute trash. I mean, it also has to do with my age range, right? Like I'm in my mid-30s, The men who wanted to settle down are settled with kids and a family. The men who didn't want to settle are probably a special breed. And the men who wanted to settle but couldn't settle, probably for reasons. So, you know, I'm also in that group, so I ain't perfect either, you know. I'm also probably really fucked up. So I'm not blaming anyone, but I'm just saying it's kind of a social problem. It's not an individual, you're a bad person problem. It's just like, what the fuck is going on with our world? Grandma's cremation costs are $1,500. I have not seen 600 in New York City yet. And 1,500 was on the lower end. I called up a couple of other places, and the social worker at her facility called up a couple of places, and they went up as high as 3,500, 3,600 just for a direct cremation. No other stuff. Wild how much death costs, guys. Wild how much life costs, and wild how much death costs. Holly, 7.8 pounds. He's really skinny. He's like a lanky cat. He just doesn't have meat on him. Fred is probably double that. Fred is probably 14, 15 pounds. And Fred is a chonker now. So I think 11's fine. Depends on the size of your cat, though, you know. We're not all built the same. New York City is expensive, yeah. So it's gonna cost me baseline $360 to euthanize him and cremate him. I don't want his ashes. I'm not going to keep his ashes, you know. I plan on adopting or fostering more cats. I think I'll have room in this house for grandma and mom's ashes. I don't want my house to turn into an ash museum. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear about your bunnies, but yeah, private cremation for bunnies, $450. Guys, like, I'm not destitute, obviously, but wild. Okay, I just basically paid $850 to be told my cat's gonna die, and I have to pay $350 more to cremate and euthanize. Jesus Christ. For those of you who joined late, had to take memo to the doctor this week, ran some tests on him. His liver function is really bad. So vet said probably cancer or something, end stage. The numbers are just like in the 500s when they're supposed to be under 100. So bile was another metric he pointed out as being incredibly high. So just like nothing is really being processed in his liver right now. So yeah, that's where I'm trying to both mourn, preemptively get it out of my system and accept the reality, and then spend my days with him, but also trying to get advice from fur baby parents for advice on when to call it, how to handle this. This is my first go around with a cat end of life. I've dealt with 2 different types of human end of life now, and I guess cats aren't that different. It's just I can't talk to him. Damn, I wish they talked, you know? I would love to tell him how much I miss him. He's probably so sick of my guts. I am a suffocating mother. I don't know if you can see him any better, but he's there. He's there, right next to the radiator where it's warm. Miss T. Dot, yeah, I asked a vet tech. I was like, what if you have a patient who can't afford this cremation? And she was like, you know, you can put it out the city pickup. Trash, basically. But yeah, I am trying to decide if and when to do it. Someone said earlier in the chat, you'll know when. So I guess I'll know when. Could he have ingested something that raised this level? He was eating cat grass, and then he would eat it until he threw up. So I don't know if that was already something was wrong. I'm guessing something was already wrong when he was surrendered. He was surrendered last Thanksgiving. No, sorry, he was surrendered Thanksgiving 2023. I adopted him in June, which means nobody adopted him for 6+ months. He bumped around 2 different foster homes before I got him. See? Yeah, okay, so I did that thing. Okay, so basically, I dated Aaron. We were together for like a decade. We broke up. Mutual breakup, friendly terms. We're still friends. And then I got fired. And you know, so Aaron and I broke up. Mom died. I got fired. Oh, he's eating again. I got fired. And then after I got fired, I was like, all right, you know, my life is obviously being revamped right now. Let's go on Hinge and have some fun, right? I didn't really like want to fuck around, literally, but I did want to metaphorically fuck around and find out. And boy, oh boy, did I fuck around and find out. And I did not like what I found out. So, you know, there is a price to everything. But yeah, I think because I didn't date all of my 20s, I basically didn't know how to date, and I was approaching it with like a completely total different mindset than the people who are on the apps have. Most of the people on the apps I think are dopamine driven. People like swiping. Don't get me wrong, I like the whole game aspect of it. The swiping, the profile making, and the profile consuming. I loved it all. But I think when it comes to commitment, you can find people who are ready to commit on the apps, for sure. But the people who actually chase you and say they want to be with you are commitment avoidant. And that's what took me 2 years to learn. The ones who express thoughts most forwardly and hotly for you are the ones who probably will drop you as hot as they picked you up. So now I know. Now I've aged. And yeah, I think I need to stay single at this point. I think I deal with limerence too, but there's a couple of YouTube channels that really helped me with this journey. I can't recall them at the top of my head right now, but if you DM me on Instagram, which I have deleted the app off my phone, so I won't see it right away, but twice a day I check my messages on desktop. But if you DM me on Instagram and you're interested on learning what videos I've been watching to get over the limerence shit, happy to send you. But it's hard. I think, you know, part of it is on me, right? I think wanting to find a partner is a sort of salve for grief and emptiness in my own life. And so I was probably also dopamine chasing up until a certain point. But I think what's different for me is once I commit, I'm committed. But I think for other people, even once they commit, they're still in that mindset of there's always more swipes and profiles to find. So if we have one conflict or one disagreement of values, we're done. And so people will just break up because of one hump. And the thing about staying in a long-term committed relationship is you have to learn how to resolve conflict, because conflict will always be there. But you have to find somebody who's willing to work with you through conflict and see it as a worthy endeavor to work through conflict. And right now, out of the people that I've dated off of the apps, that has not been the case. People seem to want to fit other people into their lives without fitting their lives into other people's lives, which works. But what I've also learned is that if one person is compromising more of themselves to make the relationship work, one of the YouTube channels that I watch calls this crap fitting. You don't really want to compromise that much, but you'll crap fit it just to stay in the relationship. What happens in that dynamic is not only is one person who's always giving miserable, the other person who's not investing in you doesn't have anything to lose when they break up with you, because they have not given themselves to you in the way that you have given yourself to them. So it is way easier for them just to cut you off because they essentially did not invest anything of value to the relationship, and they're not investing in you. All the meantime, you're investing in them and the relationship. And so there's a lot of dating for potential that I've learned that I just can't do at my age. Like, I think I was probably okay to date for potential when you're like in your early 20s, mid 20s. But once you go into like the late 20s, 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, don't date for potential. Like, I feel like at 35 to 38 range, you should know who you are, what you want, and who you want to be with. Not saying that you can't be flexible about those ideals, but you should have those standards in place for yourself. So, woofy, woofy, woofy. He is still able to poop in the litter box, but it is diarrhea. But he is still being such a good boy. He just threw up everywhere, though. He threw up his meals, basically, today. But he's he's a scared boy. Whenever I have friends come over, he always hides in the closet. And I honestly regret, there was one day, it was really cold, and I think one of my friends came over for a couple of hours, and he hid in the closet, and it was really cold, and then he was sniffly the day after. I'm sure that wasn't good for him either. Now I know. I wish I knew the impact, but I'm very cognizant of the fact that I really can't let myself blame myself for anything now. One, it's useless, right? What's done is done. Two is like, I'm on very thin ice. I might actually have broken the ice already. So if I push myself down even further, I'm gonna fucking drown and freeze in the lake. So we're just going to do our best moving forward to make sure he has comfort. And he doesn't seem to like medication, so I'm not going to opt for the morphine derivative thing for now, because not only is it not going to be a pill, and I have to like get it right there between his lip and gums, and it might freak him out, but also because it's just going to give off all sorts of different side effects, and he's such a skinny boy that medicine will probably hit him really hard. But I'm going to take some time to breathe and read your comments. Happy Friday. Did I say that already? I said that already. I'm just trying to cheer myself up. I'm trying to do that scientific thing where if you smile, you could trick your brain into thinking you're happy. It actually kind of works, guys. When I was on the phone call with Aaron, I started laughing and smiling and saying, "Hey, Mama, I love you." And it actually made me feel better. But the cries will come back. But, when you need to trick yourself into feeling a little bit better just so you don't drown in that moment, you do what you gotta do. Um, Relationships are tough. We project all of our hopes and fears onto each other. We create realities even when they're not there yet. But when we believe in ourselves and our illusions long enough and deep enough, we can actually manifest the reality, especially when it comes to relationships. Because the other person is perceiving you and receiving you, and you know the wavelengths that you're emitting. I think, not to sound too woo-woo, but I do, we work off of vibes, we're a herd animal. So be careful what you project, is all I'm saying. But also don't delude yourself into giving the other person benefit of the doubt. It's really hard when you think you're in love with someone or in limerence with someone, Love and limerence can feel very similar depending on how well you know yourself. But when you're in it, when you're infatuated on some degree, it's really, really, really hard to let yourself acknowledge the warning signs of why this might not work out. So don't blame yourself too much. It's just life. It sucks. I'm going to feel guilt for how mom died and my part in it. I'm going to feel guilt for how various things with grandma went down and my behaviors towards her that were borderline abusive sometimes when I lost it. And I'm going to regret not taking Memo to the doctor sooner and not asking more questions. But I really did try my best. I tried to feed him different foods. I really just thought he was a picky eater because he looks like such a princess. Aaron nicknamed him Princess. He's a male cat, but he really is a princess, So we just walk with life, we don't really drive it as much as we'd like to sometimes. So learning to walk with life is what I'm doing right now. Congratulations on Moby. Happy, oh my gosh, let me do the math. Since 2009. Happy 23rd birthday, Moby. What a dream. I really did want to have Memo for like 2 to 4 years. But we don't always get what we want. Yeah, baby. He's very sleepy. Resting. No, I'm not gonna do any keepsakes for him. Listen, I've already spent so much money buying food and wasting food on him, and I have so much keepsakes of him. Truly, I have so many Instagram posts with him and stories with him. And is it really? Maybe I manifested this too, but part of why I adopted him was, one, he looked fucking cute, and two, he was a senior. I was looking for senior cats, and three, his name was Memo. One of my 2 favorite Latin phrases, memento mori, which, remember you will die, and Memo just seemed not only to remind me of that phrase, but also alluded to the feeling of like, this is a memory. This is a memory you're given, and you make of it what you can and what you will. And just remember, everything that you've had to experience, and may it be a blessing. We will, in moments of grief, we will always blame ourselves. That's natural. It's okay to do it. You don't have to stop yourself from doing it unless you're beating yourself up about it. Don't beat yourself up. Life already does that for you. Be nice. Okay, there are quality of life assessments for pets you can take online daily. Helps you think about what to consider. Okay, cool. Thank you. Good to know those exist. Yeah, it's the internet, I'm sure. I'm sure it exists. I need to grab a battery pack. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna read more comments and then I'm gonna see if I can go slink over there and bother him a little bit and snuggle. I have heard that when they stopped eating, people gave them whatever they would eat, which a lot of times was salty foods. Yeah, I gave him canned tuna. He started eating that, which has salt in it. But then I made the mistake of trying to mix the meds in. This was before I knew he was end of life. They gave me meds. Expensive meds. And I tried to put it in his food. So we can stop that now. You know, I do think I fell in love with one of my Hinge relationships. I really did. When I had mono, I was in bed, and like I felt like death. There was a possibility in my mind that I would die before Grandma did, because I was that sick. And I was like thinking about everything, basically, like what I would do if I only had like a year to live or less. And like in my bed, one of my biggest regrets was like not being able to have more time with that person. So, but looking back, you know, there's a certain degree of fooling yourself when you're falling in love. There's a certain degree of painting in a person that you don't quite know that well yet. And you know, depending on what your own psychological emptinesses might be, that could very well just be limerence. So I no longer know. But after the last 7 months, going through all sorts of shit in my own life and watching Grandma die, and just all of it, it became clear to me that when people don't want you, they don't want you. So, you know, he was nice about it, but he didn't want me. after guys with a career path and want to spend time next to you every day, Zach, you find where those men are and you let me know, okay? I ain't looking anymore. I ain't got energy. I'm just gonna put all my energy towards keeping myself alive and maybe fostering more kitties. Because kitties may scratch and kitties may even bite. Memo actually gave me a memento. I have his bite marks from when I took him to the doctor at the end of August when I was still kind of weak from mono and I had to give myself antibiotics that I was potentially allergic to because he bit me in 2 spots just for taking him to the vet. And so a part of him will be with me forever. Isn't that right? Okay. Yeah, one of you said, I love it when someone's crazy for me. My computer also just died. Let me grab another charger. Hey babes, I didn't mean to wake you up. I'm so sorry. The thing about love bombing is they will seem like they're crazy about you and say all sorts of things. And maybe they even believe that they are. But time will tell. That is the thing. Time will tell you if they are actually. Baby, will you tell me when it's too painful? My friend just texted me some advice. He had a kitty who had cancer too. He said, yeah, with Clem, it was about choosing when to euthanize based on her behaviors and suffering. Very sad and hard decision to make. He said, I'm free if you want to call me and discuss. For Clem, she hadn't eaten in multiple days and lost energy to move around the room. She kind of just found her spot and stayed there. If I'd picked her up, she'd maybe stand for a second and sit down. So just no energy. And then he said he was also with another friend when that friend lost her Siamese cat. And that cat was rapidly declining during the week, and then Friday he couldn't really move. She scheduled euthanasia for Sunday and he passed while the euthanasia person was on the way to the house. No one is to blame, but you know how my mind works, so I felt maybe I should have told her to take him versus waiting 2 days. Something else to consider, but most important, to focus on his comfort and remember you're taking the best care of him and he's so lucky to be with you. Oh guys. Yeah, there's like a lot of sitting with these things, you know, like, and how quickly things can happen. Let me grandma died 10 days after she had a fever, or less actually. She had 4 days after she had a fever. But she's been dying for a while, I guess. If you're 35 and you have no idea what you want, then date yourself, which is what I'm doing, actually. I reached a point in like December, early December. Where I was like, I don't know why I'm dating other people. I should date myself. Because, you know, it didn't make sense, right? There's a lot of relationship advice that tell you you have to love yourself first. I don't quite understand that yet either. But there's other advice that's just like, are you the person you'd want to date? Are you someone you'd want to date? And I was like, no, why would I want to date me? Like, I want difference. But actually, if you're not a person you'd want to date, then why would other people want to date you? And I'm not saying everyone's going to think like me. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people who don't think like me. But if I get to the point where I can be someone I want to date for myself, then I might actually just be happier on my own, especially given what I've seen in the last 2 years of the online dating marketplace. So sometimes, you know, I'll look into the mirror like a crazy person and I'll be like, okay, what are we working with today? You know, I'm not saying make out with yourself on the mirror. I'm not stopping you from doing that. That's not what I'm doing. But what I am doing is just taking it all in terms of evaluating, like, who am I as a person? What my behaviors are? How do I talk to myself? How do I think about myself? What do I think about myself? And would I like to change anything about myself that would make me happier or prouder or appreciative of who I am? So that's my current project for myself, and I don't know, it's way more relaxing than dating, to be honest, and cheaper. And obviously with the freaking cat addiction, I would rather spend money on cats than on dinners out with strange men who want things from me that they don't say up front and tell me things that they don't actually mean. I had one person who I kind of spilled my guts to on the first date because I probably shouldn't have been dating. I knew I shouldn't have been dating then. But, you know, he said all the right things. He was like, well, if you're feeling down and depressed, I would want to be closer to you and comfort you. I wouldn't want to, you know, push you away. But guess what? He wasn't capable of doing what he said he would want to do. So sometimes we have an ideal of ourselves too that we want to believe in, and we get into a relationship hoping that the other person can confirm our ideals for ourselves. And when the other person doesn't confirm our ideals for ourselves, we drop them because they don't reflect back to us what we want to see in the mirror. So right now I have a lot of mirrors in my apartment, and I can just reflect myself back to me. And I think I can be a little bit more trusting of myself than I can with other people right now, because my trust in men on the dating apps, okay, so yeah, people who end the relationships with really hurtful words, like, immediately easier for me to get over them. Obviously not when you've invested years into that relationship. I can totally see how that will just break you, and I'm really, 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 really fucking sorry. And that's awful. And I hope that you don't think any less of yourself just because of what they said to you, but other people will project their pain onto you. The breakup process is not easy for anyone because it it puts them into a bad person situation when they're the ones dumping you. So they have to come up with reasons to justify why you're the bad person, so they're not the bad person for breaking up with you. Who's the bad person? Because they're not the bad person. You get what I'm saying? So it's not always about like what the reality is. It's just about what they need to believe in that moment to make themselves be okay with it. And so when people leave a relationship on really bitter terms, I'm just like, yikes. Because that's, once I get over the hurt and the damage of that blow, of that completely earth-shattering blow, once I have time to reflect on it at a distance in a more objective way, I'm just like, woof, what does that say about you as a person that you could spend this much time with someone and then come around and say all these hurtful things, like I never loved you? Okay, why would you, why would you stay? It just doesn't make sense, right? They'll say a lot of things to justify and pacify themselves at the moment when things are happening, but yeah, I wish them the best, and I wish them the peace that hopefully they can be courageous enough to find for themselves, and if not, they'll just keep on running, and whoever they come across will get hurt. That's it. So right now, I'm not in a position to get hurt again, and I know that, so I'm not gonna date. I can only date when I have the funds to. And we're not just talking about financial funds, we're talking about emotional, psychological, physical funds, really. Hello, come for some water? Yeah, I mean, I can Cocoa Bear, dating while completely paralyzed. I mean, I'm not even completely close to being paralyzed, but even with my physical health right now, my long COVID, how other people don't really take COVID precautions, like that's also another layer of me not wanting to see people and meet people because they really just don't care about common well-being. And taking care of yourself is also community care. And people sometimes don't take good care of themselves either. So, community care is a totally foreign concept to them because they're not even taking care of themselves. So how could they know what it means to take care of a community of others around you? They just Yeah, Keith J says, I used to wish to be normal, but now I realize there is no true normal. I just wish to be less abnormal. ADHD, anxiety, childhood trauma, etc., etc. It's a lot to deal with sometimes. Yeah, that is a lot to deal with. You're not alone in dealing with them. Also, I would say there is no normal. No true normal. And if there's no true normal, you can't be any less abnormal. Just think about what those terms mean, I think there are people who are less sensitive to the goings around of the world. They don't take in as much stimuli as others do, and so they truly do live in a different perception and environment, and I don't blame them anymore. I just know that they're not my people. And actually, it's really funny, when I went back on Hinge for the last time, one of my first dates was over video chat, and I was with a very interesting fellow who told me that, like autistic people, sometimes they have alternative terms for themselves, like starseed and all of that, and he used those terms too, but his main message to me was like, you have to figure out who's in your tribe. Like, not everyone is going to understand you. Not everyone is for you in terms of like being able to be compatible with you, and understand you and give you what you need. Sorry, there's something really crunchy in my leggings and I'm trying to understand what is in there. What are you? I have no idea what you are. Ew. It's not a tick. That's what I was most worried about. But yeah, his words have come back to me in the last 2 months a lot, and I've been thinking about them, and he's quite right. I've now had 3 diagnosed autistic friends who have told me that they think I could be autistic. I'm not diagnosed yet, but that's three diagnosed autistic folks who think I could be autistic. So I'm definitely not normal. My brain is potentially wired in a very different way. Autistic people, your brain goes through this process called pruning, where like the synapses as your brain develops get trimmed off so that your attention and like the way you think is more streamlined. But apparently with autistic folks, their synapses don't get pruned as much, and so the synapses are just like growing more numerous and wild than non-autistic people. And so that's probably why one of my my very last hinge relationships, if you want to call it that, told me I play connect the dots too much. And that was like one of the last feedback that he gave me when we broke up, is like, I connect the dots too much. And I was like, that's a bad thing? Like, I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, huh? I love connecting the dots. I guess it's just maybe how my brain works. I don't know, but I like that about myself, and I can only be with someone long term if they also like that about myself. I can't be with someone who doesn't like the things that I like about myself. That just means I'm gonna be super crap fitting, which sounds like self-abuse, honestly. I mean, you are staring at a living room for 2 hours. Really. Interesting. Random tip. You can ask the vet for a prescription instead of the actual meds. And if you take the RX to a pharmacy, the meds are significantly cheaper. But wouldn't the prescription have to be made out to me and not the pet? And is that legal? Are you in the States? I have to ask this because different countries have different rules. Wow. Okay, Leona says, I felt like I had a psychic connection to my cat Linus. I had a conversation with him about passing, and I felt like he gave me an okay. It was Christmas Eve when he had to go. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move furniture around because he's been wanting to be in the sun, and where I have the little coffee table and cushion right now is in his way. So maybe when he gets up to walk, so I don't scare him out of his spot right now, I'll move that. Gosh, I need to remember to do that, because who knows? Who knows how many more sunspots you can enjoy. Yikes. Gosh, so morbid, so down. And listen, what you see on the live is not who I am in a relationship, right? That's why there's people who are superficially attached to you but cannot be in a long-term committed relationship with you, because what you see here is maybe more appetizing than being with me on a daily basis. You know, I also have my extreme flaws, my super triggers, my shit that I haven't dealt with, and it comes out in relationships, and I can be super reactive. Less so now that I've had to go through and process the death of my mom and fucking genocide that we're all processing, and just constant turmoil now with the LA wildfires and all of that, grandma passing, and now My husband? Hello? I am committed to being a crazy cat lady now. Do you understand? Do you understand me? So, it's great. We joke about the things until they turn true, and I've joked about being a cat lady until it turned true, and I have no problem with that. But do be careful about what you joke about long term, because you will become your own joke if you do it long enough, okay? That's just, I'm warning you right now. Whether or not you believe in manifestations, the more you say something over time, the more they will come true. I started being into cats 5 years ago, and now I am a cat person, so. But you are flexible too. Anytime you don't want to be that, just start telling yourself something else, and you can manifest your change of lanes, okay? Hi, Japan. Thank you for telling me to enjoy my life. I'm trying, guys. I don't know if you can tell. I know I'm going through a really rough time with loss right now, but I'm really proud of myself in a lot of ways. Like, the self-awareness that I've hopefully been working on unconsciously is finally surfacing. I don't know if that's just me powdering up my own butt though, so we'll see. Yeah. I think cats decline fast because they hide their pain, right? He was probably in pain by the time he came to me. Looking back, he was playing with me for a good 2 weeks, and then suddenly he ran away from toys. That was probably my first sign. I was like, oh, he's just finicky. But we have gotten a lot of great cuddles in, and he used to wake up next to me right up until Grandma died, and cuddle me and paw me awake for food. But unfortunately, after I took him to the vet this Wednesday, he's not slept with me. I don't think he trusts me, and he probably just wants to be at peace, and he doesn't want. God, I really regret taking him to, but I don't regret. You know that feeling, the regret don't regret thing. It's a double-edged sword. Yeah, I could have hidden mold. I probably have hidden mold somewhere. It's possible, but anything's possible. There's probably mold everywhere now. There's also wildfires everywhere now. I'm just not at the point in my life where I don't have the energy to look for everything. I also think that my mom and grandma both had OCD. And genetically speaking, I probably have some trace of it. So I don't really want to feed into driving myself nuts over figuring out what the fuck is wrong with everything in my life. There's plenty wrong enough in my life. Just trying not to drown. Do I have a physical type? I actually don't. I don't like super muscular guys. I've been trying to guide myself towards being more bi or pan, I guess, but it's not really working. I think I'm just turned off of humans in general now. They're great to socialize with and be friends with and exchange ideas with, but I don't know if I want one in my space. No, I'm not doing the online thing anymore. I'm not doing the online dating thing anymore. That's done so forever. You guys keep me accountable, okay? If I ever tell you that I've gone back on the dating apps, you need to tell me to shut it down. Do you understand? I need you to be my intervention. That's probably a really weak moment for me if I ever tell you that I've gone back on the apps. You have to remind me that I cannot use that as a outsourcing of grief and escapism. Okay, we have been down that road and we did not like it, and we do not want to repeat our mistakes. Capiche? Yo, lots of people treat dating apps like the Instacart of sex. Mr. Bitter Old Queen, why were you not here 2 years ago? I feel like a lot of you were kind of excited for me when I went on dating apps. But yeah, they are not. They are not for the weak of constitution. Uh, Yeah, for those of you who are joining late, Memo is not doing well. He's basically at end of life. I know, very sad. I cried earlier in the live, but I have found emotional stability for now, or just fatigue. But yeah, his liver function is basically shutting down. Doctor says it could be cancer or worse, and we could diagnose it further with a sonogram. And I'm like, why torture Kitty? Let's just let him rest. So yes, we're just trying to decide if he wants to be put down. Are you in enough pain yet? Oh baby, that don't look good. That actually don't look good. Baby, hi. May I come pet? Me. Hi. Slow blinks. My baby boy. Love you so much. One and only. You hurting? Does this make you feel better? No? Oh, baby. I love you. I love you so much. Yeah. Cutie. You know, Grandma used to massage me right down my spine. She said it would help my appetite because I was a picky eater. Does that feel good or bad? Will you let me know? It's so warm here, huh? Is that why you like it here? Yeah? Have you had enough pets? Do you want me out of your space? You want more food? How about this food? You want that food? Do you want tuna? Beautiful. You're so pretty. Beautiful eyelashes, soft little fur, smooth ears. Lovely aura. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bye. I guess now would be a good time to move the coffee table, huh? Hey. Okay. We move it somewhere not in your way. Ow. I just stepped on a toy that really hurt. Wow, this living room is a mess. Hi, baby. What you doing? You trying to escape? He's staring at me. You want me to come? Hi. Was that a slow blink? I love you. Okay, cool. Thanks for the RX advice. Um, oh. Do you want to go out? Do you want to escape, Memo? He's like listening at the apartment door. What do you think he wants? Do you want to go out? Do you want to go for a stroll? You want to kill some birds? Can you get a cheapo heat pad? Well, he's actually lying on a heat pad. The spot that he lies on is right next to the radiator, and it's actually like it's warm to the touch always, and I think that's why he likes it there. Yeah, Grandma passed last Wednesday, for those of you who missed the last live. Hi, Sydney. I'm so sorry you've never been on a live before, and all I have to present you is morbidity. But here we are, it's a fact of life, and welcome. Welcome. Thank you, Holly. I'm just gonna read out Holly's comment because it's so lovely and it's like strengthening. So, honestly, I don't know how you're still going. Life seems to be throwing everything at you and it's so unfair. And you have every right to be proud of yourself, and I am too, your boss. There are people who are going through way worse than I am, like a genocide, and surviving it and celebrating any moment. And I truly do feel like Palestine has informed how to live best for me. So thank you to the people of Palestine for showing so much incredible strength. Everything else pales in comparison. So they have shown me endurance, and always be thankful. Memo, why are you by the apartment door? Isn't it so cold? I don't. Baby, what's wrong? Spring, don't be by the apartment door. Do you want to go out? Do you want to see me outside first? Ta-da! Oh. Do you want to go? What do you want? What did you hear? I love you, Mia. Well, the door's wide open if you want to escape. Am I killing you with my bad moods? Baby. Cutie. No? Hi. Do you want some food? Hi. Hi, baby. Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming to greet me. Thanks for letting me pet you. Shall we pop open another can just to see if you'll like it? What do you want to eat, babes? Maybe like a tuna and chicken recipe and tuna broth? You want to try it? Hi.
smell? It's twin packs, tuna and chicken recipe and tuna broth. Hi. Are we gonna waste this too? I'll waste it for you if you want, babes. Come. Wanna try some? No? Oh, okay. I knew that was gonna happen, but we had to try. How about this? Wanna try this big treat? No? Okay. Baby. I'm gonna squeeze this out for you.
I guess he just really wants to go to the hallway.
Look how beautiful you are. You're so beautiful. What do you feel like eating?
He just likes the trashy stuff. The $5 a bag fancy feast kibble over the $2 churro bags. This has been my last 7 months with this guy, just opening food and him rejecting everything. And then him going for the cheapest crap that probably damages his liver even more, but whatever. Grandma was the same way, wouldn't eat vegetables.
Hey, you like the fancy feast? Oh, baby.
Yeah, I mean, Grandma enjoyed snacks too, right? Dumplings were the only thing that woke her up from her deep, deep slumbers. So I just ordered a whole chewy shipment of snacks. Probably should have ordered the other ones that I saved for later, but you know. There's always more we could be doing, and there's always more the heart wants to fill in the gaps of grief with, so. I'm learning the meaning of grace. First of all, to be given to yourself. And once you understand it, what grace actually is,
it will flow more organically from you towards others without you even trying. Yeah, I'm sure all the choice confuses him. I'm a very confusing person. But you never know what he'll go for, you know? It's just, how much of it is pickiness and how much of it is fucking liver cancer. Or whatever it is that you have, Angel. You have perfect teeth. He has perfect teeth. Besides a little bit of tartar, the doctor was so surprised. He was like, this cat is almost 14, and this is what his teeth look like? I thought I was gonna have him for like 10 fucking years with how good his teeth look. Especially right after having Fred, who only had 3 teeth left after they pulled all the rest of them. I absolutely will welcome another cat into my life when it feels right. I do want to like foster after. Maybe I'm not ready for like a full-on commitment after this string of death. No, did you finish? Do you want more? Should I clear the tuna since it's been sitting out and it's gross and it's got medicine in it that you don't want to eat? Right? I wonder if the crunch of the dry food is more appetizing because it creates more reverberations. You know, I think as they get old, they can't smell or taste as well. And so when I had COVID and I couldn't smell or taste, like potato chips and chocolate was all that I ate because I could still taste sweet and I could still taste the crunch traveling up all around my jaw. So the sensation was satisfying, less so the taste. But yeah, sweet and salty were the only things that really worked for me when I had COVID and I couldn't taste and smell anything. So I wonder if the dry food is like doing that for him. Yeah, I don't know. When I saw Memo, I really did feel like he was the one for me. Love at first sight, baby. Love at first sight. Never happened with a human, but it happened with you. I will smother you with my love. Do you want more dry kibble? Which one? A fancy feast? He's a fancy feast boy, not sponsored. Okay, enjoy. Did I pour out the wrong food? Huh. Were you eating something else? Huh. Now I can't distinguish them. Do you want another bowl? Never mind. I'm doing that thing again. I'm doing that thing that my mom always did to me. So, in the months leading up to today, what I used to do is take all the food that Memo wouldn't eat, treats, and I would collect them in this container, and then once I had enough, I would go dump them where I've seen stray cats. But lately I've stopped doing that because especially with wet food that he's licked, I don't know what he has, so I don't want to give that to other cats. But dry kibble that he's never touched. Yeah? Yeah, he will do whatever the fuck he wants, just like Grandma. Hi, baby. You want
want a sniff, baggie? Hi, baby. Sniff, sniff. I poured it out for you. Sniff, sniff.
There's more treats over there. Do you want to go take a look? Baby. Hi. You're so cute. Beautiful. Yeah, that's your kidney kibble. You want some kidney kibble? It's your liver that's dying, but we have kidney kibble for you. Yeah. Hi. Water. We're back to water. We will send memo. Beautiful thoughts. And over the last week, a lot of you have written such amazing testimonies of your own grief and shared so much of yourself and so many words of encouragement and comfort, and just thank you all for being so open to sharing. Yeah, sorry, just everything's a mess. Don't mind my house. There's socks on the floor, there's gloves that I was supposed to put his ear meds on with, but that's just my house, you know. There is so much peace to be had when you can share with others, and you guys have given me the space of so much advice and softness and so little judgment and so much acceptance. And so in a lot of ways, we are all being role models for each other. So even as the internet and the world burns, may we remain steadfast in our belief to be the people we want to be, even when the world shows us it does not value what we value. IDK, what's on your chair, but the reflection in the mirror looks like no face. You're right. Oh my god. That is my beige thrifted coat, and the keffiyeh is draped over it. Wow. I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but and maybe I've talked about this before, but no face represents capitalism to me. Just how empty it is and how engorged it can become, and how even when it is so filled with stuff, people, money, things, desires, it can only become a monster and nothing more. There's no fulfillment, no matter how engorged it becomes. And so, if you haven't watched Spirited Away, highly recommend it. I do think that capitalism needs to experience a purge of sorts before we can find our peace. I think he's using the litter box now. Yeah, it's okay, baby, I got it. He does this thing where he claws the side of the litter box after using it. He doesn't like push the litter over his pee and poop. He like claws the plastic sides of the box. Oh, mournful meow. I don't know if you heard that at all. My phone doesn't pick up sound from that far away, but sometimes he'll go into the bathroom and just like let out a mournful. Maybe he's in pain though. Let me go check him just got the diarrhea poops. Poor thing. Damn. You got fixes for diarrhea? I guess it's just his system shutting down. Baby. Well, may this be like informative for anyone else who might be going through this shit. Unsalted tinned pumpkin or boiled pumpkin. Okay. Mashed banana. I tried to offer him banana before. He doesn't like human food. But I do have kabocha, so maybe I'll steam that tonight and try to offer him some. Thank you for all the advice. Yeah, he's never had diarrhea before this week. He's still teaching me so much. I've learned so much from being with Memo. May we continue to learn from each other. Welcome back. How's your butthole? Do you need a wipey? How is his butt so clean? There's literally no poop on the butt, even though I just heard him bloop bloop diarrhea into the litter box. I don't think he had time to lick it though, between that and now. Oh, he's licking it now though. He's licking it now. You can watch him lick his butt. But no, seriously, I've been walking Ethan's dog, and that dog has such long fur that poop always gets on it, and he won't even let me wipe it. He'll run away from me, obviously, because I'm touching his butthole. But cats, man. How does your poop taste? Probably bad. You want some water? I mean, let me get you some good water. Okay, I'll be right back with fresh water. Water, baby. Do you want it closer to you, or should I not move it? I'm not going to move it. I'm not going to move it. That way I can see when you can't even get water, so that I'll know that you're getting a little bit worse. I'm going to go pee, and then I'm going to go pee. Let's just leave it at that. way you pooped, even though it's diarrhea. Do you want to cook dinner with me? Simple dinner? If you do, we can go to the kitchen. And maybe we can see if Memo wants a little bit of my dinner. Okay.
Mama, do you want to smell this treat? Beep beep. Tree, 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 tree. Sweet prince, my lovely darling.
I'll put out some temptations for you too. It's not good for you, but nothing is now. So, before we go to the kitchen, I'm gonna put out some. Guys, you will not believe, well, you will, because I'm a crazy cat lady, how many snacks and flavors I bought him because I was getting so desperate of getting food into him. So many. But let's see if you want some temptations. Oh yeah, we got the catnip and we got the tasty chicken. Your foster brought you tasty chicken temptations when you first came. Do you remember?
Okay, you ready?
New treats.
Do you want some?
We gotta have you try all these treats before you go, huh?
Smell it?
You want, oh yes.
Yum. Yum.
I'm glad, baby. He will only eat shit. Do you know how many reviews of Temptations are like, this made my cat so sick, I don't know what the fuck they put in it? But yes. Temptations.
Hi, baby. You like it? I'm so glad.
I'm gonna clear the tuna, okay? Since clearly you're not a fan. I'm gonna wear my slippers. Okay. 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 Enjoy, baby. I'm gonna go into the kitchen now, okay?
Hi.
Holler if you need me. You have water.
I was supposed to hang out with friends tomorrow. I still will, but now I'm just gonna be thinking about him all the time. I want to come back to him all the time. You're at 88% now. Remind me in like 40 minutes. We might have to recharge again. If we're still on. I wanted to show you this. My friend Devin works at Samsung now, and they have like a work lunch, and you can buy another extra set for $4. So he bought me a set, and this is the Korean one. You can get like a Korean one or a not Korean one. They have like 2 different set meals per day. So there's purple rice in here, there's kimchi in here, but what I really wanted to make was there's poached chicken soup here, and I was thinking of chicken soup with carrots cooked in here, so that's what we're gonna make. The chicken soup is delicious, but it's a little bit salty, so I figured if I added some more vegetables into it, I can get more vegetables into my diet, as well as lighten up the sodium content for myself. And since you mentioned pumpkin, this is a farmer's market pumpkin. Let's try some of that. Let's steam that, shall we? Okay, let me see. The best way to do this. Kitchen's a mess too, obviously. Life is just a mess right now. We'll try not to break anything tonight, because I really don't need that. Isn't it funny how I was actually thinking of making content again, like filming edited content again, and then all this shit happened? My life just wasn't ready for it, you know? I'm just composting some ginger that I boiled for ginger tea. And then we'll steam this pumpkin. Probably use my Instant Pot. But what's the fun in that? Pot is not deep enough. Are you? Wow, this IKEA pot, really. I was talking with Erin about how this IKEA pot, which was like
$13 or something for a set of 3 pots. Has served us so well, it's incredible. Everything fits. Everything fits into this pot. If you've watched Budget Eats, you've probably seen this pot. Okay, so move some stuff out of the way. Thank you for all the hair compliments. Yeah, I chopped my hair on Christmas because I was like having serious face dysmorphia, body dysmorphia, but concentrated on my face mostly because my face was getting stress bloated and out of shape bloated. And then I was like, instead of feeling bad about your body, why don't you just do what works for it and help yourself instead? Because we're trying to date ourselves. Remember, we're trying to become the person we would want to date. And so, a while back, one of the most helpful advice I've heard and come across was, what would a person who loves themselves do right now? Let me know if that helps you reframe certain things and actions. So I've been trying to do that. You know, just thinking to myself, in a moment like this, when you're struggling and having a really tough time, what would a person who loves themselves do? And it's kind of in line with the advice of fake it till you make it. You know, if you're not in the habit, or you don't even know what it means to love yourself, then just think about your idea of what someone who loves themselves would do. And fake it till you make it, right? Like, love yourself. And if you don't know what that means, then just try to mimic what you think someone who loves themselves would do. I don't think my mom was ever really capable of loving herself in a lot of ways. She treated herself rarely, but sometimes. So just do more of that. Just do more of treating yourself. But not like, you know, enabling your own drug addiction. Like, that's not treating yourself. That's escapism. Think about if a person who loves themselves would enable their own drug addiction. Yeah, guanciale could be a addiction, I guess. Not as bad as cocaine, you know. Allow yourselves the drugs that are okay and know when to draw the line when it's not okay. Do you like who you are when you enable yourself on that drug? If so, proceed. If not, reflect. The object really is trying to get to know yourself. Like, the whole project of dating yourself is getting to know yourself. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What are your dreams? What are your goals? Honestly, the same shit you would ask someone that you are going on a date with. And it's really funny because I've always said I can't think about what I'm gonna do with my life until Grandma dies. And now that she's dead, oh god, it feels weird to say that. But now that she is gone, I'll take some time to rest and think about that question. We're steaming the kombucha. Just steaming it. And we're gonna see if my cat wants some. He's got the poops, he's got the sicks. He's got a lot of sick going on right now. So if he doesn't want to eat it, I will. Firmly lidded, amazing fit, perfect fit, such a great fit. And then once that's up to a boil, we can start with our soup. All right, everything is already out. So let me just show you what $4 at Samsung will buy. It's quite incredible. 2 whole like chicken leg thighs, like the whole leg, not just the thigh, not just the drumsticks, but 2 whole legs with a mound of sticky rice and really delicious soup. So we're just gonna pour some soup in here. And then we'll add some carrots, which I've already peeled, and radishes, and then we'll shred up some chicken. Maybe we'll offer Memo up some. There's definitely scallions in here. You know, cats are not, my disclaimer is cats are not supposed to have alliums, which are onions and garlic and all of that, but if we are at the end stages, I don't think we need to follow the rules anymore, right guys? No rules, just life. Embrace death. Eat trash. Isn't that the motto of the raccoon meme? We are living the raccoon life right now. I'll cook some extra veggies in here so that they can leak out their veggie juices as well. It's so funny that you're inspired by my cooking style. My cooking style is just whatever goes. You know, feed yourself. Add heat. Apply heat. Add flavor if you want, optional. Sometimes no heat. Okay, we got our carrots in. Got some cute breakfast radishes from the farmer's market. I'll just trim those in half.
kabocha is up to a boil, so I'm gonna move them to this lesser stovetop on a lower heat setting, and then move this to the bigger stove pot. And you're back here with me. Okay. We even have intestinal antibiotics that I was supposed to give him, but what's the point? The doctor, I called the doctor and he was like, if you can get it in him without a struggle, there's no harm in continuing the antibiotics. I was like, okay. Kind of at that point where I'm listening and not internalizing things anymore. Brain and heart at capacity. We'll set a 20-minute timer for the kabocha. We'll slap a lid. I should clean this lid first. Gross. I don't know if they put ginseng and other herbs in this one. It's supposed to be a Korean thing, but I don't know if they make it so medicinal and traditional. Oh, I see. Alright, maybe no feed him the soup then. Heard. Thank you for thinking for me when my brain is clearly not functioning anymore. I think you guys are doing all you can right now, right? Just giving me advice, coaching me through end of life with a pet, and giving tips and pointers. Like, I'm a really practical person when it gets down to business time. So I don't know how many of you were with me on Instagram when my mom suddenly passed away, but I posted about, I posted announcing her death, and then I followed up the caption with like, I don't want condolences right now, but if you have practical tips and advice for how to sort out a life lived, let me know. And people really turned out in my inbox with all sorts of advice. So if you have advice on end of life pet stuff, whether it be practical, financial, or emotional and spiritual even, I think I'm becoming more spiritual, not by choice, just by organic movement through life. So any of that I'll take. Thank you. I need to sort out Grandma's death certificate here so that it can be used and accepted in China. So I'm gonna have to jump through hoops for that paperwork to be done. But not gonna worry about that immediately. My health is first, and my health is not great right now. So we're just gonna worry about getting back to my baseline before I ride the subway to go to the city hall and state institutions and notaries and all of that. It's a very different cadence of grief and practical movement than when my mom died. My mom just had so much to take care of because we weren't really expecting her to go, and she wasn't expecting her to go, and so just a lot of unfinished, open-ended accounts and questions. But Grandma is much less stressful in that sense.
But I think Grandma's death will basically re-trigger a lot of undigested grief from my mom's passing. Now that Grandma is finally gone, there's that link between my mom and me that is further cut and detached. And so I think I'm probably gonna go through a free fall period, just psychologically. Yes, apostilled. That's a new word for me. That's exactly what I have to do. I have other family in the US. They are on my dad's side. Well, Cassidy, there's a lot of things I've been waiting for 3 years with my mom. There's just so many accounts to deal with, and I could not deal with them all. And you know, it's interesting because once you stop doing these things, you don't want to go back to it. It's kind of like going on vacation and not wanting to come back. It's not even just the drudgery that makes it hard to come back, but just like the way it singes and sparks your grief every time you have to deal with your dead mom's accounts and tax shit. Death and taxes. Death and taxes. I think I have to get the translation certified, notarized. The death certificate itself will be an official document, but China will need it translated and notarized. And then I get that notarization version and the original version apostilled. I still don't know what that word means, but I know that I have to do it. Again, I was planning to start looking into this after Grandma got cremated and I got the ashes, but now I have also memo to contemplate. Yeah, mom had a few RA accounts that are pain in the butt. Okay, first of all, Tony out loud, in regards to your comment just now, I wanted to share that a few days after Grandma passed away, her hospice program sent a psychologist and a bereavement counselor to call me up and offer a 13-session over a year period of grief counseling, basically. And at the end of that call, you know, she reiterated how there is not one way to grieve and there is no timeline for grief ending and how we all grieve in our different ways. So the way I grieve is not the way that everyone grieves, and I don't think it's necessary to compare yourself to anyone else's grief. I think that's just one more way we begin to like hurt ourselves by blaming ourselves for not doing due diligence or like grieving the right way. And I've actually heard this from other people who have lost loved ones who felt like, oh man, you know, I compared myself to the grief depicted in media, and I just felt like I wasn't grieving the right way, and I felt like awful about myself. Like, first of all, no one's family dynamics are the same. No one has the same relationship with their parents or loved ones that they've lost. We all have our own hang-ups and difficulties and things that we can't even understand ourselves. There's so much unraveling that happens throughout life, not just after key milestone events. So please just be gentle with yourself. You're already at a point, if you're experiencing grief of any sort, of fragility. And, you know, with fragile things, what would a person who loves themselves do? I'm not watching TikTok. I've not been on TikTok for years. Somehow my account got deleted. I didn't delete it, but it got deleted. So I have not been invested in the TikTok drama at all. Someone has asked me about whether or not I'm moving to like Redbook or, you know, whatever else is popping up as substitutes, and I'm stepping away from social media, if anything. I'm not sinking further into it. You know, I've decreased my presence on all of the platforms, in case you haven't noticed. Once I saw what the internet was capable of doing and not doing, I realized over the last year that what the internet is capable of doing, at least on social media, for the most part, it's not really a product that I'm interested in, so. I have Fortiflora. He actually loved it. He would eat his food with it at first, and then he moved on to just eating the powder. And then unfortunately, in the last 2 weeks, he's stopped showing interest in even the powder. So signs have been there. The thing is, with all previous foods, you know, he's always gone through this phase of, I love it, I love it, I love it, okay, I'll tolerate it, and then nope. So sometimes he moves through foods in a 4 to 6 day span. He'll go from, I'll eat this, for sure, I'll finish it, to I'll eat it, but not finish it, to I won't touch it. So I thought that's just what was happening through all the foods, because he would voraciously, like when you saw me open up the Temptations, like that's how he would react. Every time I opened up a new food, you know, most of the time he would go for it. But then over the next 4 to 6 days, he would stop eating it. So what I ended up doing was, like, every month I got used to spending $100 on new food. Which is why you see just cat food everywhere. Yeah, actually, I got so addicted to screen time on Instagram because I started basically isolating at home because I got sick, and then I didn't have energy, and then I couldn't socialize because nobody's masking and nobody's COVID conscious, and then I just found myself being sucked into Instagram, both to DM friends, to post things, to watch other people's stories, to stay on top of the news, to check out my Explore page, who seemed to know me better than I knew myself at times, which was like the first inkling of, holy shit, what am I getting myself into? And then with long COVID and increased screen time, my eyeballs literally hurt. They are sore, and they're begging me to look away and close my eyes. And so I thought, if I don't delete this app off my phone, I will lose my eyeballs, literally. So I deleted it off my phone. I still look at DMs, and I'll install it just to post, and then I'll delete it within the hour of posting. But yeah, I realized that Instagram was becoming a drug for me. I was dependent on it. I still look at my phone
waiting for that dopamine and that stimulus, you know? And when I don't have it, I'm crestfallen. But a person who loves themselves will realize that they are developing an addiction and it's a problem. And before it gets totally out of hand and destroys them completely, they need to wean themselves off of it. So I didn't completely delete my account. It's not that drastic, but I'm substantially decreasing my use of it. They build it like it's a drug. They build dating apps to be like addictive, like a drug. They build these social media platforms to draw you in. That's why you have stories, you have posts, you have explore pages, you have randos showing up on your feed that you are not subscribed to. You have marketplace, you have ads. They ram them full of things so that if you don't like one thing, you'll like this thing. If you don't like that thing, you'll like that thing. I'm so glad you ate mush and it was delicious, Karen. Yay. The cat brought the owner kibble? Well, you know, when I go through really painful periods and I start moaning in bed because that's just how bad the pains get, Memo runs away from me. I don't think Memo's that cat. Memo is kind of a fuckboy, you know what I mean? But I'm clearly drawn to fuckboys. Interspecies fuckboys too. So, I submit myself to my fate, but at least with a kitty fuckboy, it's not the same kind of damage as a human fuckboy. A human fuckboy can give you mono. But a kitty fuckboy will break your heart deeper than a human fuckboy who gives you mono can. Yes, Instagram has much less functionality on the computer, and that is how I'm weaning myself off. Can you imagine if Instagram had all the full features on desktop? Then I would just be glued to my desktop, which is even worse for my eyeballs because my desktop is this big versus my cell phone. So I am glad that they don't have all the fun. Don't let them hear that though. See, they're gonna hear this and then they're gonna develop all the functionalities for desktop, so you can't quit. Well, Jasmine, you don't have a right to say anything given that we live in a censorship state, but I'm so glad that you chose to say what you said, and thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's so weird. I do have like this feeling that maybe the live streams go hand in hand with my therapy sessions. It's just like a way for me to kind of regurgitate the info in such a way that I actually internalize everything that I've been learning throughout life and therapy and relationships and death and transition, all sorts of transition. So I'm very proud of us, really, because I wouldn't be here without you guys for the past, gosh, how long? 3 years? I do speak Mandarin, conversationally fluent, but at like an elementary level, I don't know specific phrases or words that, you know, grown-ups would. We're trying to cook the carrots to mush, and I feel like I'm evaporating all of the broth. But what we can do is maybe we can shred some of the chicken and see if Memo wants that. He's turned down my chicken before. My chicken that I cooked for him in the middle of sweltering summer because he wouldn't eat in the middle of summer. So I got desperate. Guys, thank you for making me think of how I just made him salmon and chicken in the sweltering heat of summer and he turned me down. And that was within the first month of me adopting him, which means maybe this liver issue, it doesn't make it any better, but I guess it lessens my guilt and feeling of lapsed responsibility that, you know, maybe even if I took him to the vet then he was already pretty sick, but man, I guess he's been suffering since he's been with me. That sucks. I still feel bad. Never mind. Fuck. We just went through like a, oh no. Be careful with the chicken because it might have too much salt. Okay. Yes. There's also group grief, like grief groups or grief therapy groups that you could look into if being alone in it, and it can be very alienating. The other thing about grief groups is that sometimes they also make you feel worse about yourself. To be in a space with others grieving in their own ways, and then you start measuring yourself with how they're grieving and what they're processing and how they're feeling. Like someone else said earlier, hey, I'm seeing you grieve your mom in this way, and it made me realize I can't grieve in that way. Like, just try to be try to be someone who loves themselves. You might not, I don't know to what degree you do, but like, choose the option that a loving person who loves themselves would choose in any given scenario. Okay, I think our pumpkin is ready. We're going to stab one. We're gonna taste it. Yes, I'm so surprised, Tony. I think a handful of teachers use my videos in their classrooms, and I'm like, really? That's amazing, but also, what are you teaching these kids? But I'm glad to be able to add to your curriculum. It makes me so happy to know that I've contributed to someone else's framework, and kids especially. My whole agenda is to brainwash kids in the way that I want to brainwash them. Because let's be honest, all we do is brainwash kids, right? So, wow, Valeria. Well, unfortunately, we are past the point of diagnostics. Memo is suffering severe liver damage, I guess. So we're kind of hospicing right now. And he's been kind of isolating himself. So I think we are towards the later stages of hospice. But good to know. Penn vet in PA. Yeah. Fur babies are truly an investment, huh? Thank you for sharing that info, though, for anyone else who might be seeking that info. Always appreciated. And prices. We love prices, especially in a system that does not give you transparent prices. I don't know, I was invited by a teacher in Brooklyn. I think he was teaching like high schoolers. And he invited me to go see his students and have them do Q&A with me, and they just asked all sorts of questions like, what do you like to cook? Where do you like to eat? Like stuff about video content making and all of that. So I'm not really sure how he fitted into his curriculum. I'm sure he told me. but I don't remember anymore. It's been a while. It's been a while. No, they didn't prescribe Denamarin. I got GABA to get him to calm down, to get him into carrier. And then before they got the blood test results back, they gave me metronidazole, I don't know how to say it. It's an antibiotic for intestinal inflammatory stuff. Life, skills, budgeting, and sustainability. That is my thing. That is for sure my thing. Okay, so I think the carrots are cooked, but they might not be mush. But we have no more soup left, so they have absorbed all of the soup. It's like dry now. No soup, just steamed veggies that have hopefully soaked up all of that delicious flavor. And then we have chicken. Ooh, sorry about that noise. Wow. And a plop of rice for me. Oh, who was asking about the medicinal stuff? I don't know if they have ginseng, but they have the jujube in here. That is the fattest jujube I've ever had. And there is a pit in the middle, so do be careful. Fun fact, I minored in educational studies in college. I thought I could be a teacher. That's where I met Aaron, actually. We met in China while we were both on a teaching fellowship. So I taught for a year, burned the shit out, tried social work. I have a story to share about that too. But let's get my cat a little tub of pumpkin, a little shreddy bowl of chicken, and maybe some carrots. You're totally right about the sodium, so I'm just gonna give him a little. He'll probably reject it anyway, but we might as well try. And people have been telling me to warm stuff up to make it extra stinky. He doesn't seem to like that. He's weird. Hi, JM. Glad you made it. Are your cat's red blood cells okay? You know what? Let me check, because I asked for the results to be sent to me. So I'll let you know soon. As we prep this pumpkin. Watch me end the live and just go back to bawling. I'll probably need to take a fucking walk so I don't cry in front of his little face. That's why I'm trying to stay on this live for as long as possible to delay that. God. Okay. Red blood cells. AST, these are the liver functions. This is honestly hilarious, not hilarious, morbidly hilarious, because my liver was also fucked up from the mono. These remind me of my results. AST 193, normal range is 10 to 100. ALT 521. Normal range 10 to 100. Phosphatase 145, normal range 6 to 102. Bilirubin is 0.9, super high. Normal range is 0.1 to 0.4. I'm looking for red blood cells. White blood cells is super high, 17.5. Normal range is 3.5 to 16. Red blood cells is normal, 7.5. Normal range is 5.92 to 9.93. Neutrophils is super high. Normal range is 2,500 to 8,500. He's at 10,850. Monocytes is super high. It's 700. Normal range tops out at 600. Interesting. His protein is 2+ in his urine. That sounds bad, but it shows up as negative. Oh, yeah, he has protein in his urine, so his kidneys also aren't doing well. Never mind. Yep. His poop is fine. No parasites. Those are the metrics. But yeah, the doctor was like, it's cancer or something equally bad. I was like, okay, in your professional opinion, do we treat? What's the prognosis? And he was like, bad. These numbers are bad. And I was like, okay. I love this vet because he's very no bullshit. So. But yeah, I basically just spent more on this one visit with Memo than I did on my own health escapades last year. Crazy, guys. I'm gonna eat the sticky rice. I know it's probably better if you warm it up, but I'm just gonna try it cold. It's delicious cold. Doesn't have that chalky graininess to it. I think it's so filled with broth. Okay, pumpkin, chicken. Don't get your hopes up. Memo, baby.
Hi. Do you want to try some chicken? Chicken? You didn't touch the churro, which is also chicken. You'll touch this chicken though?
He likes the salt, huh? It's probably the salt.
Do you want pumpkin? Pumpkin. Sweet baby boy. You warm by the radiator? You like Devin's chicken? Yummies. Yummies? That's pumpkin. Do you want to try some pumpkin? You want Temptations? You want to try the catnip Temptations? Catnip. Catnip Temptations. Temptations always. No? Oh no. Okay, not Temptations always. You don't like the catnip one? You want the turkey one? Okay. Let me get you the turkey one then. You're just surrounded by bowls, honey. Yeah? Do you like this? What a cutie. Okay, you like chimkin? Do you want more chimkin? Maybe I mix the chimkin with a little water? Okay, let's try to get him. I know the chicken's a little salty, but he seems to somehow like it even more than he liked the Temptations, which is fascinating. Memo doesn't look like a senior cat at all, right? Yeah, looks can be deceiving. He looks like a fucking kitten, which is why all the more shock I'm experiencing right now, seeing his like sudden decline. He was never a fat boy. He came to me skinny. He's never toppled 8 pounds. Um, 14? He's 14? He was surrendered on Thanksgiving time in 2023. The records say that he was 13 at that time. So I think he's 14 now. Yeah, I really do think that they probably... At the time, I was wondering, why would anyone surrender a cat unless their owner died, you know, at the age of 13, and he's beautiful. But, you know, the beautiful ones, they die young. He's not young, but he's not as old as I would have liked to have had. Bacteria infection, you say? Okay. Well then, we need to give him some meds, maybe. They're like a tiny little pill, but I'm worried that if I just give him the pill, he won't eat it. So here's the hack that I've come up with. Fancy Feast, again. They're owned by Nestle, I think. Yeah, not great. They're like these oily little cubes. So what I do is I try to smush them. Okay, and I smash it into a paste. I basically make my own pill pocket with these. Again, I ordered this whole snack bundle before I knew he was sick. So I'm just trying to make do with the stuff that I have. And I basically crush it until it's like Play-Doh, and then I try to slip this in the middle and bunch it up like a ball and try to compact it as much as possible because he's having a hard time eating big stuff too, so I try to make it as compact as possible. He's already had Chimkin though, so I don't know if he's gonna go for this, but we'll put it there in any case. See, it's like it never happened. I've crushed the pill, but unfortunately the first time I tried to crush the pill and mix it into his food, he didn't touch he's very sensitive. He's like not an super intelligent, well, I shouldn't say that. My cat is beautiful. But he knows. He knows when there's tampering with his food. Baby! Hi! Did it get too cold underneath the window? Do you want this tree? That's your medication, baby. It's an antibiotic. Hi. Look at all these people who love to see your beautiful face. You bring so much joy into my life and the life of others. We love you, and you're adorable and beautiful and soft, and you're everything I wanted in a husband. Yeah. Okay, bye. That didn't work. The sweet talk didn't work. More chicken. And here's your medicine, if you choose to have it. Let me remove these treats that you don't want. And I'm gonna line these up along the wall. Here's pumpkin if you want it. Do you want more space to sit? Want chicken? Yeah. You're safe, baby. I'm not here to nab you. I just wanna be with you. You want that piece? Here, let me get it for you. All right, it's back in your bowl. You don't want it? Okay, no pressure. We'll give you some space. I'm being a helicopter mom again. I don't want to be a helicopter mom, but I am. Can't escape it. It's my destiny. That's why I have no children, because I know I'm just going to be a helicopter mom. Okay. Okay, it's time for us to eat, yeah? Like a mom, I'm gonna eat scraps, the pumpkin hull, okay, the chicken skin. We'll add some vegetables from our steamed, boiled. Look at how beautiful that radish color is. These are the first solid foods I've had today. I've just drunken my oat and cashew smoothie. It's been a day, guys. It's been a fucking day. We're gonna add our sticky rice lump in here, carbs. And we'll have some chicken as well. best part is the cartilage, obviously. He's probably in pain. I did ask the vet that. Unfortunately, he was like, yeah, at these numbers, for sure. Listen, when my liver was not doing well for mono, they were nowhere near those 500 numbers, and I was not feeling good. So, it wasn't like liver pain though for me. It was more just like no energy at all, and kind of feeling terrified that I was so energyless. So I have no idea how much pain he's in. But right now what I'm seeing is that he still has interest in eating. He's still walking around, and I don't know what he's doing, but he seems to be exploring. So I'm not ready to bring him in to put him down, but I'll keep an eye on it. Yes, I asked about the gabapentin. The thing is, he doesn't eat the food when I mix it in, and he's highly stressed. You'll see that when I reach just to pet him, he's so skeptical now, and he always honestly has been very skittish whenever I got too close. That I'm worried that if I try to stick a pill in his throat or, you know, inject a liquid into his mouth, that it'll just stress him out. And I really don't want him to feel like he's trapped in a house with someone who's trying to hurt him as he's actively dying. So that's why when the doctor said, you know, we can give you that morphine derivative to ease the pain, I was just like, it's a very specific spot between the lip and the gum. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it there. I would love to use up the medication that I paid $100 and something for, you know, but I'm also not going to force him to do anything now. And that's kind of the thing. If they had told me, hey, he has like liver cancer or whatever it is that he has, I wouldn't have like chased him around and try to get him to eat stuff. Like, I would have known that we just be gentle. This is the importance of information, y'all. Withholding information can hurt other people and animals. So yes, very delicious. Thanks to my friend Devin for picking up this meal for me that Memo also got to eat a little bit of. I am very grateful to have great people in my life, both online and in real life. Lending a helping hand and invitations to hang out and keep me afloat. Very lucky. So. Yeah, he's sitting by the radiator, which is warm, but sometimes the radiator turns off and it's not so warm. But he also hates it whenever I drape anything over him, so I deal with a lot of trying to not scare him, but also trying to like do what's right for him, and it's tough. You know, it reminds me of when I took grandma to the emergency room after she started coughing up blood because we later found out she had a lung infection that was not quite pneumonia, but a lung infection at the age of 96 nonetheless, and she threw that huge temper tantrum, pulling out her IVs, hitting the nurses, cursing at them, spitting at them, and I think that gave me like a nervous breakdown that led to my mono flaring. But I think back to that moment and I'm just like, I can totally understand why grandma did that. It doesn't make it any easier for anyone going through it, but it just sucks. You know, so would it have been better to just leave her in Regal Heights where she was for the last 3 years? And just let the infection ride out? Yeah, maybe, but the doctors at the time at the facility told me we had to go to the ER. I was just, you know, I just thought, okay, if doctors are saying it, then I should do it. So yeah, thank you all for being here tonight, and cooking with me, and being with Memo. I'm gonna make myself a big bowl of food and then we'll go sit in the living room until my phone runs out of battery and then we'll call it a night. Ask whatever you want to ask in the chat. And if I see it and can answer it, I will. I work part-time from home for a spice company called Burlap and Barrel. I think I still have all of my lives defaulted to linking a affiliate link in the description box. So if you click through that, you'll see the site. That's where I work. I write the newsletters there. I work with the team. It's like a small team, so everybody does everything, but I mostly just write the newsletters. It's pretty cool. A nice place to be for now, in this capitalistic hellhole. Do you think he'll want a little bit of radish? IDK. IDK. But at least we made something to feed my body. I'm gonna take you first back to the living room with our food.
Hi, baby.
Do you plan on staying in New York? Yeah, I don't think I have it in me to move anywhere right now. I mean, I barely just moved into this apartment 2 years ago. And now I have to figure out, grandma's ashes, death certificate, bringing her ashes back to China, settling mom's accounts. I think until I finish all of those death tasks, I will be staying put. I also don't think my body can, first of all, I don't even know where I would go if not New York. Second of all, I don't know what I would do for work if I moved anywhere else. Like, I just don't have anything pulling me anywhere right now. And my health is also not great. I think after these few years with long COVID, with other things factoring in, it's just been bad, so. Yes. Well, if I become even more mentally unstable, which is very likely, the hair might change. Just giving you a heads up. With every death and transition, I feel myself becoming a little crazier. Not in a bad way. I think I like.
Right? I'm a little crazy? Yeah.
What's your favorite comfy activity if you have one? I don't know. I like reading a book if I can read it. I honestly just really liked putting my head on Memo. Who knew, Memo? Did you? You knew, huh?
Will you come back and cuddle with me?
I used to like walking a lot too, and now I can't really walk with long COVID. I get tired really easily, so that's been really, really sad and depressing. Can't really work out anymore, so that's also affecting not only my physical health, but my mental health as well. I'm taking NIC. I'm dealing with symptoms every day. Attention span, eye strain, aches, fatigue, weakness, health problems. I had autoimmune diseases as a kid, so. I do have a nice small village of friends in New York. I'm very, very, very blessed. People aren't really taking long COVID seriously, but I think in 3 to 4 years, we might. Nice stretch, babes. Oh, gosh. Yeah, he's definitely not himself. I'll be seeing Aaron and some other friends tomorrow. Are you interested in a carrot, baby? Carrot? Radish? No? Okay. You want to smell my food? No? Desiccated beef liver. I mean, I do have pork liver in the freezer that I can cook. My opinion on the Mangione? What's up with the Mangione? I've really tapped out. I've been very cloistered up in my own life issues, but I wasn't convinced that they got the right guy. I wonder if they have like a dupe running around just to be a scapegoat while the actual one is plotting the next one. I want there to be more copycats. You know, after the Bang Bang, some policy changes were effected rather quickly. Right now, I'm not even worried about me. I'm just worried about the pain that Memo is going through. It's really heartbreaking to decide to have to put him down. But if it continues like this, here's the thing too. My vet is closed for a week starting next Friday. So I guess we'll see how the next 3 days go. Oh God, man, fuck me. Oh, I was talking about pork liver for me. Not for him. He's never really eaten anything I've cooked. He's rejected my food constantly. I should probably look into pet ERs, huh? But this vet is so close to me. It's literally 2 blocks away from me. Was it meant to be? I don't know. All right. What battery power? We're at 11%. Let me show you all the pills I've been taking for my long COVID, if I can. NAC, twice a day. Magnesium, every other day, because it has effects on the kidney. Zinc, every day, that's for immunity. Omega-3 fish oil, I just started on that. I don't know if it's good for anything, honestly. Vitamin D for depression and everything else. CoQ10, once a day. Meltable vitamin B3, niacin. Yep, that's about it. And I'm about to take all of these because you're supposed to take them with food, and I didn't have food until just now, so yeah, I'm trying to carry too much. But I think I can do it. Guys, this sucks. I want someone here with me for emotional support. But yeah, if my cell phone runs out of battery, thank you all for accompanying me in Memo. Look at this perfect framing, huh? You won't believe it, but I take them all in one go. So, 6 pieces. Just so I don't forget about them. Holy shit, it is a Volksgraf bowl. It's not vintage, and it's also cracked. I cracked it in the microwave. But yes, it is that. It's from Salvation Army. Is that vintage? I never know how old the stuff they have is. But yeah, I got 2 of these. This one is cracked, so it can give up on me any day now. Good eye, by the way. Damn. I need more salt. Well, I have a kidney issue, and it flared when I had mono. So for people with kidney issue, you gotta have decreased sodium intake. Oh, be careful with the fish oil, hard on gallbladder. Well, that's good to know. Okay. Maybe I'll ease off on that then. Chronic illness crew. Chicken time. He got up for chicken. I mean, they're just vitamins, and I honestly don't know if they're helping, but it's better than sitting on my ass and doing absolutely nothing and waiting for it to get better and being frustrated every day that it's not. But the only way around that is not being frustrated, that it's not getting better. It's just walking with life. I guess once Memo stops eating, it's time, right? Oh, I wish I could take him out with me to see friends without him freaking the shit out, but I guess I'll go see friends tomorrow and take a break from worrying 100% to dialing it back to 5%. Wooey. Okay.
You like the chicken? Good boy, baby. Good boy.
Sometimes when I lie on, well, it used to be that when I laid on the floor, he would come to me. But no more. He used to come to me and sniff my hair. But I ruined it with the vet visit. Hi, Memo. Hi, BB. Okay, guys. I'm gonna sign off now. Have a great weekend. And give everyone that you love a little text, a little heart, a little hug, a little kiss, share a snack, remind each other to drink and rest, and just enjoy. Sending you all so much gratitude. Love you.